What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Victorinox Spartan, which for a while was one of my favorite models from Victorinox. It's long since been replaced by the Cadet, and some other models may have moved up in my ranking as well, but still a really solid model with some great tools on it, fairly compact as well at only 2-layer tool. And you may have noticed already, this is kind of a special version of it, but it has the same tools as the main version. This is part of their Onyx collection. And all that means is it has these blackened tools on it, which I think look really great. They're blackened through a polyspectral process. No idea what that entails, but it gives it this kind of glossy black finish that looks great and is pretty durable. You may see some wear on the kind of spines of some of these tools, but this one is pretty old, and so it holds up very, very well overall. And so I've been wanting to put this one back into rotation, so just figured like a good time to make a video on it. And it's not just the blade that's blackened like that. All of the tools that you're gonna see on this Swiss Army knife are blackened the same way. And I realize it's kind of hard to see them with my background, so I'll try and remember to put my hand in the background so you can see those tools. Now, this version with the white Cellular scales was discontinued, I want to say in 2020, and in 2021 it was replaced with a black Cellular scale version, so all the same blackened tools, but the Cellular scales are black, as well as the tip of the tweezers was black on that version, and the entire toothpick, and so full monochromatic blacked out version, which is pretty cool. Now, the polyspectral process does seem to be adding quite a bit to the cost of these tools. And so I researched the basic models of these with the silver tools over on Amazon. I went on Amazon because they were a little bit cheaper than buying them directly through Victorinox, and I've had pretty good luck with Victorinox on Amazon overall, so no qualms about buying these on Amazon. But with the white Cellular scales, the black Cellular scales, or the red, the silver tooled versions are $27 to $34. If you'd like to pick up the Onyx collection version on Victorinox, that's $98. On Amazon, it's about $90. So huge increase, almost 3 times the cost, or depending on which version you're comparing it to, 3 times the cost of the base model of it. Up to you if it's worth it. Honestly, probably not. I do think it's pretty cool. It really stands out with the black tools compared to all of the other Swiss Army knife style tools that I have from Victorinox. Obviously, they're multi-tools, they have black versions, but at least in the Swiss Army knife, I don't have any others with black tools, so it really stands out nicely, so I think that's pretty cool. And obviously, since you can't get the white Cellular version anymore, it just comes with the black. You can buy one with white Cellular scales. It doesn't even have to be a Spartan, as long as it's a 91mm with the toothpick slot and the tweezer slot. You can slot those on there. And again, this is a 91mm, so if you want to do custom scales on here as well, that is an option. Weighed this one in at 2.06 ounces. Now, as far as the tool set, really solid. There's one tool that I would maybe consider switching out, one more tool that I would love to see on here, but I don't really think it's possible. So pretty optimized tool set overall. We'll start with the one that I don't really count, but Victorinox loves to, and that's the keychain attachment point. So we do have our keychain attachment point, and then the Onyx collection comes with a lanyard. I would imagine that the base version doesn't, but these are pretty cheap. I want to say like $3.99 or so. So if you do want to add one to your keychain, you can pick those up really cheap, and you can see they're just kind of threaded through there. So really easy to add that on if that's something you want to do. Now, we also have a pair of tweezers, which again, on the Onyx collection version with the black Cellular, you're gonna have one with a black tip. Love the tweezers on here. We get a toothpick as well, which gets a little bit less love than the tweezers on most of my Victorinox, but still nice to have if you ever need it. Toothpick slotted into that back slot. We'll start with the back side this time. So you can see 2 layers on this one, which is kind of a big deal. I like that it's a little bit smaller. I don't love 3-layer sets, and so obviously you're getting some more and more useful tools, but it does just kind of make it a little bit bulky. I think the 2-layer is the perfect in between here. So on the back side, we do have the Corkscrew, which is the tool that I would consider replacing. I would love to see just a Phillips screwdriver. I rarely ever use corkscrews. Obviously, you can use them for their intended purpose, like opening wine bottles, but for the most part, when I'm doing that, I'm at home where I have a full-size corkscrew, or someone else's home where they have one, and just don't get a lot of use out of it. I know there's other uses that you can use, like untying knots and things like that. Also, great spot for storing some additional tools like their fire starter kit, which I think is called Firefly, or their mini screwdriver kits can thread into there. But I think I would prefer to have a Phillips on this one, and that's the only tool I would really swap out. Next up, we have the awl, or Reamer Punch, whatever you want to call it, but right here on the back, tucked in nicely. Great tool, obviously, and it fits perfectly in that back scale there. Wouldn't swap this one out. I don't use awls all that often, but they do come in handy every once in a while, and again, not really taking up a lot of space. I think an efficient use of space for this tool. And again, I forgot to put my hand behind there so you can actually see it on my background, but really nice looking awl. Obviously Victorinox's awls are great. Onto our main side, the star of the show is going to be that blade, and so we have a large blade and a small blade. So I already showed this one off a little bit. I didn't actually get the measurements of the blades, but I think these are pretty standardized amongst the different tools. So if you're getting a 91mm with a large blade, they're pretty standardized, so kind of know what to expect there. But we get the large blade, and then sharing that same layer, we also get the small blade, which is a great use of space because you have a secondary blade which you can use for different purposes. For example, if you're using one for food, don't want to contaminate it with cutting other stuff that may have like chemicals and things on it like that, you have two different blades. Also just a great backup blade if the main blade goes dull, you don't have anything to sharpen it in the field, you can use this secondary blade until you can get back to sharpen it. And so really great use of space having those sit in a single layer. In our front layer, we actually have our bottle opener and our can opener. And so I would love to see a pair of scissors on here, but I don't think it would be worthwhile to trade the bottle opener and can opener. And I'm not someone who's using bottle openers and can openers on these Swiss Army knives all that much, but I do use the flathead and the large flathead and the small flathead, mainly the large one, but I do use the small flathead sometimes as well. And you can see this one's kind of scraped up, so it does definitely show some sides of where it's not indestructible finish for sure. But I do use those screwdrivers, and I don't think that's really worthwhile to trade for the scissors, and you would have to trade both because they fit and they share this slot. The scissors are a longer tool, and so you would end up having to remove both of those, which gets rid of your bottle opener, your can opener, your large flat, your small flat, and your wire stripper, and so that just seems like too much. Now I know that a climber exists, and the climber is basically this exact tool set plus a pair of scissors on the main side and a parcel hook on the opposing side. Now, the scissors are really nice, but it does make it a decent bit thicker, and I'm not going to get any use out of the parcel hook either, so it doesn't seem like a worthwhile trade-off. So nearly perfect tool set for what it is. Like I said, I think the only one that I would actually consider replacing is that corkscrew for a Phillips screwdriver. But very cool one. I'll leave a link to both the Onyx version as well as the base version down in the description in case you're interested in picking one up. Again, they're going to be identical tool sets. The Onyx one just has those blackened tools and is 3 times the cost. Also comes with this lanyard, which is not adding a whole lot to the cost. You can pick one of these up separately. Like I said, under $5. I don't remember the exact pricing, but I have a couple of these that I've ordered directly from Victorinox or from Amazon, and they're very, very cheap. But let me know what you think of this one down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, joining the channel as a member, or checking out some of my other videos. All help the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.